and then they try to apply and create on the basis of application of those concepts. I would like to share one personal example here with regard to this point of listening skills. Uh, I belong to Sikh community, and when this Mahabharat uh, serial came in the 1990s, we know that all over India people used to like it a lot, and we also used to watch that Mahabharat serial. And initially, when I watched that, the idea was just to understand the storyline. Okay, what is the story all about? And with time, I have watched that serial 3 to 4 times. And presently also, whenever I get free time, I go to this Zio Hotstar and all the episodes of Mahabharata are available there. So I watch that. Now, why I do that? Because now I can see that from each and every incident, each and every sentence there, each and every incident there is a learning. There is a lifelong learning for me. And I would like to share one example here with regard to this point. Uh, when these Pandavas, they are on the exile period, and there is Swambar of Draupadi, and Arjuna, he wins that Swambar, and he gets married to Draupadi. And when they come back home, they are still on the exile period, and their mother Kunti, she is living in a jungle. No? And they reach home, and their mother Kunti is busy with some household work. And the Pandavas, they knock the door and they say that, Mom, see what we have brought for you. Really? And what Mother Kunti said, okay, you all five should distribute amongst yourselves. Okay. And what was the implication of that? The saying that Draupadi became wife of five Pandavas. Huh? Why it happened like this? Now, there are two important lessons here. The first lesson is that was it that serious thing? Okay, whatever Kunti has said, that has become such an important implication that then Draupadi has to become wife of five Pandavas? The answer is yes. Why so? Because Kunti was on a very, very responsible position. So when you are on a responsible position, whatever you say, that has got implications. We as teachers, we are also on a very responsible position. Whatever we say, that has implications. The second thing is, okay, why Kunti said so? You know, why she said so? Because she did not listen to the things properly. She did not listen to what the other person is trying to say. And that's why she said like this. So we as teachers, we must understand that we are on a very responsible position. Whatever we say in classes, that has got important implications. Another story I would like to share with you regarding this particular point that belongs to a very ancient India when one of the visitor came to one kingdom and he asked the king. He said that he asked to the king, "Okay, I want to judge or I want to check, okay, how many intelligent people, how much intelligent your people are in your kingdom." So the king felt little offended. He said, "How you can do that? Because of course my people are intelligent. Why you say so?" He said, "But still, I would just like to check. Just want to give them a test." He said, "Okay, what is the test?" Now, he brought three statues with him, small statues with him. And he said, okay, these are the three statues. Can somebody let me know that which is the most valuable statue, which is the least valuable, and which is the middle one? Now, the king thought that, this was something very easy, and anyone from my own people can figure it out that which statue is more valuable, which is less valuable. But somehow, those statues were so identical that nobody was in a position to figure it out that which is most valuable, which is least valuable, and which is the middle one. Now, the king was taken aback. He felt a little bad about it. And but then one of the persons sitting in that audience said, Okay, sir, can I take one day? Can I take these statues to my home and I want to give it a try to figure it out? He said, okay, you take these statues to your home. Now, the next day, when that person came and the king asked him, okay, so have you been in a position to figure it out? He said, yes. Now, he said, okay, let us know okay, which is most valuable, which is least valuable, and which is the middle one. Now, that person, picked up the first statue and he put a wire in the ear of that statue. And that wire came from the mouth. Okay. And he said, okay, this is the least valuable because whatever this person listens, he speaks from his mouth. This is the least valuable. He picked up the second statue and he put one wire in the one ear, and the wire came out from the other ear. Okay. He said, okay, it is little better because whatever he listens, he doesn't bother about it. Second one. Third one, he said, when he picked up that statue, he put the wire on the ear of that statue, and that wire went to the brain of that statue. He said, this is the most valuable because whatever he listens, he understands it first, only then responds. So, what makes you valuable is your active listening skills. And how you can be an active listener? Active listening means when somebody is saying something to you, don't start analyzing that before the other person has completed. Why it holds a lot of importance to create a good discussion environment? Because when our students are saying something to us, if we don't listen to them properly, then they will not feel like participating again. Okay, so to create a good discussion environment, we should be a good listener. That gives encouragement to our students to participate more. Third important point is bridging the gaps. Now, we all know that our audience, they come from the different types of backgrounds. And because of that different type of background, their thought process, their perspectives, they are different. You know? On one particular aspect, there may be multiple perspectives. This reminds me of one of the very interesting, example. Uh, that example, of course, relates to management discipline. That this Colombia was one country which was known for the leather products, and they were exporting leather products to America. Now, America is a huge market for the leather products. But somehow, the products which were coming from Colombia, they were not competitive in the American markets. So they were not in a position to sell much. So some kind of consultants were hired by the leather bag manufacturers from Colombia to figure it out that what is the problem? Why our products are not competitive in the American markets? So these consultants, they conducted the kind of market survey, market research, and they came out with two findings. One finding was that the quality of leather, which is used by the leather bag manufacturers of Colombia, that is not so good. And secondly, the price of these leather bags is little higher. So these consultants went to the leather bag manufacturers with these two findings that you improve the quality of the leather, and secondly, you price it little lower. And when they said this thing to the leather bag manufacturers, they said this is not our fault. The fault lies with the tanneries, those who are into skin tanning business, that they use very heavy chemicals while tanning the skin hides of the animals. And during that tanning process, because of the use of heavy chemicals, the quality of leather comes down. And secondly, since they are into a very stinky kind of business, so the government has given them subsidies. So they are not much bothered about the costing part. So that is how the cost goes up. So this team of consultants, they go to the tanneries people and ask them that why don't you take care of the skin hides of the animals? Why don't you price it a little lower? They said this is not our fault. The fault lies with the slaughterhouses and the butcheries from where we are getting these, skin hides of the dead animals. Because, during the process, when they separate the animal skin from the other part, they are not very serious. They damage the skin. So that is how we get a damaged skin. So we don't have any role in this. So this team of consultants, they go to the slaughterhouses and butcheries and ask them, "Okay, why don't you take care of the, skin of the animal because it is to be used for tanning and the leather products purposes?" You know what these slaughterhouses people said? They said, "This is not our fault. The fault lies with the people living up country from where we are getting these, dead animals, and they provide us these animals with a damaged skin." Now, this team of consultants, they go to the people living up country and ask them, "Okay, why don't you take care of the skin of the animals because it is to be used for this, this, this?" They said, "This is not our fault. Our cows are stupid." They said, "What do you mean your cows are stupid?" They said, "They just scratch their skin with a barbed wire around, and that is how, to deflect the flies, and that is how the skin gets damaged." Now, in this story, we say, okay, there's one problem, that the quality of leather is not good. Can we say that the cows are stupid? That's why the quality of leather is not good? Where is the problem? Where do you see the problem here?
No, sir, it's not the cow's fault. Actually, people are just passing the buck.
People
They
are
don't want,
passing the
they need to be more careful in their work, and if they can bring in some efficiency.
Okay, okay, good, good, good. Anybody else? Is this the only problem? Or there can be other problems also?
Actually, the requirements of the uh, young people have not been understood by the people who come early in the process. So they
Hmm.
need to communicate the problem to them so that the word gets to them and
Hmm.
they can be more careful about the product.
Yeah, yeah. So, if you ask a sociologist will say the problem lies in the society. There is extreme kind of mistrust in the society. Everybody is passing the buck. So it's a problem like that. If you ask an economist may say that problem lies with the subsidies also, isn't it? That because of subsidies, the price also goes up. If you ask a management expert may say that the problem lies with the supply chain management. That the forward, backward linkages are not being taken care of properly. That is how that is where the problem is, isn't it? If you ask anthropologist, his answer may be altogether different. If you ask an NGO may say the problem lies with the height of the barbed wire. Now, all of them, they are correct in one way or the other, because the economist is also correct, the sociologist is also correct, the management expert is also correct. No? Now, here, when we say okay, one problem, different people, different perspectives, and all of them, they are correct in one way or the other. Same happens in the discussion environment also in the classes. Okay, there comes multiple perspectives. There comes multiple perspectives. And as a teacher, we should not have a binary approach there. Okay, these are correct, these are incorrect. Because when we follow a binary approach, then the students they get discouraged to participate more in the classes. Like we talked about Harvard Business School case study. You know, very few Harvard Business School case studies are the decision case studies, okay, where you are supposed to take a decision. Whereas most of those case studies are the retrospective case study, which means okay, coming up with a multiple perspectives, coming up with more and more discussion part of it. No? Because that means how deeply you can think about it. Okay, so that's why we say that when in the classes also, when you invite some discussion, go for or invite multiple perspectives related to that, and then try to bridge those gaps. No? And for bridging those gaps, what kind of skills are required for a teacher. Now, as I said, students, they come from the different backgrounds. And because of those backgrounds, uh, uh, we need to see, okay, when somebody is saying something, then what can be the reason behind it, no? And how that point can be addressed, how that gap can be addressed. And for that purpose, a teacher has to be well read. As we can see in the new education policy 2020, there is a lot of focus on multi-faculty, multidisciplinary education. Why? Because we don't want that if a student is understanding accounting, okay, or studying accounting, he should know about accounting only. He should understand the other subjects also and the implication of that for the other subjects also. Like if I share with you one of my challenging experience, when I was in Africa, we were involved in various training and consultancy programs. Now, what happened once that we got a training program from a reputed hospital of that country. And in that training program, the multiple aspects related to the staff of the hospital were to be taken care of. And one of the module was related to accounting. Okay, to teach them accounting, okay, what are the basics of accounting and what is accounting information system all about, why it is important. So I was teaching accounting there, so I was assigned that module. Okay, can you handle this accounting module for the hospital staff? So I said, okay, there's no problem because I have been teaching accounting for quite some time. So I accepted that assignment. But after a couple of days, when I started thinking about it, okay, what this assignment is all about, no? That who will be my audience? My audience will be the paramedical staff of the hospital. Now, how I should teach them accounting and how accounting will be relevant for them and how I can make my subject or my classes relevant for them. But then, my challenge started because then I realized, okay, it is altogether different from whatever you teach in your class. Because in your class, the purpose of the student is, okay, they understand few concepts and they write their exam, and that is how the objective is. But when it comes to the hospital staff, how, my lectures will be relevant for them because they are not supposed to write any exams. So to stay relevant, then I got a little scared, and then the solution was, okay, I went to the different branches of that hospital, try to understand, okay, what are their activities and how their activities are ultimately culminating into accounting information, and how the right kind of generating right kind of accounting information is important for them. So then, after understanding my audience, then accordingly, I framed my lecture with those examples in mind, okay, what kind of activities they have and how those activities are relevant for generating right kind of information. So means okay, our audience, is different every time. So we must keep that audience in mind, and there may be certain gaps in their perspective. And as a teacher, we must understand okay, how we can bridge those gaps. So that is the third area where we need to work upon. Fourthly, time management. You know, uh, I got associated with Infosys for their soft skills training program, and I'm a certified soft skills trainer of Infosys. And when I was getting trained for that, in a day, we used to have 30 to 40 case studies or role plays or some games, per day. And, there was a time earmarked for each and every activity. That if a particular activity is to be finished in 5 minutes, our facilitator will ensure that it gets finished in 5 minutes. If a particular activity is for 20 minutes, they will ensure that it gets finished in 20 minutes. So, as a teacher, we must earmark the time for each and every activity, and we should try to finish it within that time. Another important area where to create a good discussion environment is questioning. Okay, because questioning plays a very, very important role in creating a good discussion environment. I'm reminded of one-liner which said that the intelligence of a person is not judged from his answers. Intelligence of a person is judged from his questions. Why? Because right kind of question should go to right individual at the right time to set the ball rolling in the right direction. You must have observed that whenever some good discussions are going on, the moderator, the moderator has a very, very important role in that because moderator knows okay, what kind of question should be asked to whom to take the discussion level from one point to another point, from one level to another level. I'm also reminded of the couple of more examples. One is about Microsoft. We all know that Microsoft is a software company and they are the world's dominant player in the software industry. And they are thriving in such a tough competition for quite some time and still maintaining a dominant position. And very happy to share that one of the Indian, Mr. Satya Nadella, is the CEO of that company. So somebody asked Mr. Satya Nadella, okay, how you are in a position to, you know, thrive in such a tough competition. And he said, okay, my role is, or my strategy is, okay, I innovate and I improvise on the basis of precision questioning. Now, what is that precision questioning? He said, okay, I give a specific question to each and every employee of my organization. And that employee, that question may be with regard to that whatever they are doing, how it can be improved, what can be the other ways of doing it, should we do it at all, or we should, think about something else? What new kinds of products or what new kind of services can be developed on the basis of that? So a precise question to the different people, different employees of Microsoft and those questions, when employees give answers to that, then on the basis of that, Microsoft comes up with the new products. They come up with improvisation of the existing products and services, and they also come up with optimizing that. So questioning plays a very, very important role in that. Second example I would like to share with you is, about Indian context only. Last year, in June 2024, uh, how June 2024 was important? What is the importance of June 2024? 4th of June? Any idea? What happened on 4th of June 2024? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, uh,
Yes,
what
sir.
happened in June 2024?
Give us
Election
some.
results came,
Yes.
isn't it? 4th of June, election results came. And one of the outcome of election result was okay, one political party, they lost quite a good number of seats in one politically significant state, which they were not expecting, isn't it? Now, that was a shocker for them. And after 15 days, I was going through one national daily in which they asked, that political party gave 16 questions to its cadre, to its various office bearers, to its different voters or party workers about okay, what was the reason of that failure, giving precise 16 questions about the different dimensions, like whether something was wrong with the ticket allocation, or something was wrong with the narrative setting, or something was wrong with the campaigning, or something was wrong with the booth management. So 16 different questions were given to its cadres. Okay. Now, on the basis of the answers which they got, on the basis of those precise questions, they could overcome those challenges which they had faced earlier. So that means okay, how you design your question and to whom that question is given, that is very, very important. And for a discussion environment, that right kind of question should be asked to the right individual at the right time to set the ball rolling in the right direction is very, very important. I'm also reminded of when I was associated with Infosys, then one day, one of the module was related to tone. Okay, what is the role of tone in communication? We all know that tone is very, very important because there must be waves in communication, isn't it? When we communicate, at times we emphasize more, at times we emphasize less. So there must be waves in communication that makes your communication effective, and there the tone plays a very, very important role. Now, when our resource person came, she came, and it was a post lunch session, I still remember. And uh, it's not that whatever role plays we were doing, she used to give those role plays randomly. No, she knew that which role play is to be given to whom. Okay, who can justify this role? Okay, I still remember when she came, she started shouting my name. Where is Manjit? Where is Manjit? Huh? Because she wanted me to perform that role in that role play to make it effective. Okay, how tone plays an important role in communication. So that's why we say कि as a teacher also, what that Harvard Business School case studies teaching note also says कि what can be the different types of questions which should be asked to our students, okay, so that we can take our discussion from one level to another level. And for that purpose, we should know our students well. If we don't know our students well, if we randomly ask our questions to anyone, then we cannot take our discussion from one level to another level. So it is important that as a teacher, as I said, discussions don't just happen. Discussions have to be planned. That means the right type of question should be asked to the right individual at the right time to set the ball rolling in the right direction. So for that purpose, we should know our students well. Another is focus. Stay focused all the time. Don't allow the discussion to deviate from the main topic because there is always a tendency to deviate from the main topic and that mess up with the time. So as a teacher, we should always stay alert that what is my topic and I should not allow the discussion to deviate from that. Another is wrap up skills. Okay. Now, when we are going for discussion oriented or case study oriented or role plays or games in the classes, our students somehow they may develop a feeling that teacher has made his job easy and they have given us the task and we are discussing, we are working, and what the teacher is doing, nothing. That kind of feeling should not get developed because in any case study, any discussion oriented class, last 7 to 8 minutes should be on the wrap up skills. Huh? What are these wrap up skills? That what points were discussed in that class, huh? Those those dots should be joined, how they are interlinked with each other. If any point was not discussed, that point should be, incorporated there. And how all those discussions are related to a particular academic topic. Like if I share one of my personal experience with you, uh, when I take this soft skills workshop, have you watched that Chuck the India movie? Have you heard about this movie, Chuck the India?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hockey
Yes,
movie.
sir.
This, yeah, that movie is about
Hockey.
hockey,
Okay.
women hockey team.
Women hockey.
Yeah. So when I have to teach this topic, stages of team formation, what I do is, okay, I bring my students to the class now, and I tell them to watch that Chuck the India movie. Okay. And then after they watch that Chuck the India movie, I spend around 10 minutes with them to explain that what are the stages of team formation. That there are 5 stages of team formation. Okay, it starts with forming stage, then it is storming stage, then it is norming stage, then it is performing stage, and last one is adjourning
Okay.
stage. Now, how those 5 stages of team formation get reflected in that movie? Because forming stage is collection of individuals, you know, and in that movie, when it starts with a camp of the, women player who are coming from the different states, and just a collection of individuals. No specialization, no structure, no interpersonal relation. That is the first stage of team formation. That is the forming stage, and that happens in that movie also. Then the second stage is storming stage, where there is a storm, mean that the members become aware of their differences. There are clashes, there is dissatisfaction, there are stalemates, and that is what happens in that movie also. That when the initial 4, 5, 6 days, those girls are into serious trouble of quarreling with each other, fighting with each other, maybe for roles, maybe with the ego clashes and all. And that is the second stage, that is a storming stage. But that storming stage is intentional also, because on one occasion, the Shah Rukh Khan, the hero and the coach of that team, he want them to fight. Why? Because that is integral part of the storming stage. Like one moment was when the assistant coach said, "Okay, like this, the situation will get out of control. The kind of harsh training which we are giving to them." And you know what the coach said? What Shah Rukh Khan said? He said, "That is what I want," isn't it? So the idea was, okay, more and more storms should come so that the members, they become aware, okay, where they should settle down, and they should alter the way they, behave, the way they interact, and they settle down on the position, whatever are suitable for the team. And gradually they realize, because that forming stage ends when those girls, some of them who were told to sit outside because of their bad behavior, gradually those girls realize why they are there. They are not there to sit on the bench outside. They are there to play. So they amend their behavior, they feel sorry about it, and they adjust to the role, isn't it? So that is the end of, that is the conclusion of the storming stage, which then leads to a norming stage. The third stage in team formation is norming, when the structure becomes clear, the members have better interpersonal relations, isn't it? There is strong group identity, as we can see in that movie. Okay, when those girls they go for lunch in the MacD, what happens there? Okay, one boy, couple of boys, they try to misbehave with them. So all the girls, they unite together, isn't it? And they took that challenge together. So that is a strong group identity, and that is what Shah Rukh Khan said. Okay, now it has become a strong team. So that is norming stage. Then comes performing stage, when there is more cooperation, when there is more coordination, when they have a feeling of a team and feeling of togetherness, and then the adjourning stage. So uh, if I say you just watch a movie and you see this is what the teamwork is, what the stages of team formation are, no? That may not be appropriate. But to link it up with some academic topic, you watch the movie, link up with the academic topic, and see how it is influencing the performance. So that part is the wrap-up skills. Okay, whatever the activity has done, how it can be linked with some management topic. Then the motivation, persuasion, and empathy. I would like to, take up these 3 points together. That how to create a good discussion environment, the motivation, persuasion, and empathy, that plays an important role. In the NEP 2020 also, this dimension related to academic leadership, they emphasize upon empathetic leadership also. Okay, as teachers, we should try to develop empathetic leadership style. Now, that reminds me of one of my experience regarding this, which I got when I was attending one leadership program in IIT Bombay. That leadership program was primarily for senior professors with administrative experience to groom them for leadership position. And I was fortunate enough to get selected into that. And, you know, that program was organized in such a manner that during the daytime, our resource person used to be the directors of IITs or former directors of IITs. But in the evening time, we used to have one resource person for from the corporate sector. And, those corporate leaders used to come and share their experiences. Now, one of the corporate leader was Mr. Chandrasekharan, who is CEO of Tata Group of Companies. And when he came that evening and he shared his experiences, okay, how he could become a better leader, better corporate leader. So he said, okay, one of my teacher has a very, very important role to make me a better, corporate leader. And he shared his story with us. Now, what was his story? He said, okay, when I was a school-going kid, I was in ninth or 10th class, he mentioned, that whenever he said when my exams were approaching, then he became sick, and he was so sick that the doctors declared that he will not be in a position to write his exams because he cannot go to school because of his sickness. And when it was declared and it was almost decided, he thought, okay, now I'll be losing 1 year. So he said that when this news was shared in the school, then one of the teacher in the school, he gave an idea. He said he empathized with him. He said that if he cannot write his exam because he cannot come to school. Can't school go to his home so that he can write his exam? So he said that gesture of my teacher, that idea was accepted, and teacher used to come to my home and I used to write my exam, and that is how he said I passed. But he said it has one permanent imprint on my life. And that imprint is, okay, when you are on a giving position, when you are mentoring someone, then you must help those people to succeed. Try to understand their fears, try to understand their sentiments, and try to understand their dreams also and help them to achieve those dreams. So, as a teacher, you know, we must empathize with our students. We must come to their level. Now, when I say this, like if I take, our example, you know, at times we say that there are problems in the level of the students. A student's level is not that high. That's why the discussion environment, good discussions cannot be created. Like if I say okay, I'm a university professor and my level is this, and students, they have just come from the schools and colleges and their level is very low. So how can I come to their level? Then I will never be in a position to raise their level. No? So then the solution is that I should come to their level first. And when I come to their level and then I gradually raise their level, that is my achievement. And you could have, understood one thing that which is the best book of marketing management? Can you name the best book of marketing management?
Philip Kotler, sir.
Philip Kotler. Yeah. So, is it the same book which we used to get around 15 years back, or it is different now?
Different one, sir. The book has changed, and even the
Book has
co-author
changed.
changed.
Even co-authors. So we have Indian co-authors now,
Yes, sir.
Sherlaker, sir.
isn't it? Now, what kind of change has come up in this book?
It is
Syllabus oriented, sir, nowadays.
examples and case studies.
Examples and case studies.
The
Are they in
local
American context or Indian context now?
context, sir.
Indian context, sir.
They are in Indian context
Indian
now,
context.
isn't it? Why? Because, if you teach American case studies to Indian students, they will not be in a position to relate themselves with that. So, in order to come to their level, it's important that the Indian case studies should be given where they can relate themselves with that case study very well. So, it means coming to their level, coming to the level of Indians, isn't it? Those case studies where they can relate themselves very well. So, one point is, okay, when we are choosing, okay, what kind of activities to be given to the students, okay, try to understand the level of the students first. No? And you can start with that level and gradually raise that level. And another is try to be a little social with them because, to have good discussions, it is very important that you should know them. If you don't know them, if you don't know about their thought process, then you cannot influence their thought process. So, teacher has to be little friendly, little more observant about the student so that we can understand their thought process and simultaneously we can work upon changing that thought process if it is required, wherever the interventions are required. Now we move to the next part because one of you said that it's not only the sole responsibility of a teacher. The students also need to work upon if they want better outcomes from discussion-based leadership. So there are certain areas where we need to sensitize our students that how they should work upon to have a better learning and development. Now, what are those areas? The first is assuming and sharing responsibilities. Now, I would like to share one more example with you that was about one of our colleague. Uh, what is, what is uh, why what is special about today?
Guru
Guru
Purnima.
Purnima.
Guru Purnima.
Today is Guru Purnima, isn't it? But otherwise, we have Teachers' Day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, on
On
which
15th.
date we have Teachers' Day?
15th September. 5th September.
5th
5th
September.
September. Yeah. Now,
5th
one of
September.
our yeah. So one of our colleague, uh, he wrote one small story in one of the national daily, and the heading of that story was on the eve of Teachers' Day. Okay, because that came on 5th of September. But he wrote somewhere around 4th or 4th of September, and he shared one of his experience about the Teachers' Day because he said, "Okay, tomorrow we'll go and our students, they will give a special feeling to us and they'll be celebrating Teachers' Day." But he said, "I have a very different experience about Teachers' Day." And he shared his personal experience. He said, "Okay, I attended one program in US. It was a short-term program. And he said, "Okay, it was a 3 months program and there were around 25 participants in that." And he said in the middle of that program, they all were very happy with the kind of the content and the process which was used to deliver that content in the class. So everything was going on very well. But he said what happened once on a Monday morning at 8 o'clock, when they were having a class, one teacher came who used to teach them earlier also. And everybody was happy with that teacher, the way he used to deliver his lectures. So he said, "Ke, that day when he came, then, everybody could realize in the first 15, 20 minutes that something is wrong today because teacher is not delivering that well. He is not in a position to assemble his thoughts very well. No? And he said, within 25 minutes, there was a note which started getting circulated in the class. What was that note which was getting circulated in the students? That somebody wrote that each of us has paid this much amount of fees, this many dollars, and if we multiply it by 25 because we have 25 participants here, so the total fees which we have paid is this much dollars. And how many are the total contact hours? They calculated that also. And they divided that, contact hours with the total number of dollars which were paid. And they came up with a calculation that, 1 hour costs us this much. And this teacher has wasted our 1 hour. Let us request the administration to refund this amount to us. No? Now you see how committed, how responsible they are for their learning and development. Do we have these kinds of things in India? No. Then I was trying to understand where the problem is, why the students in India are not that committed, that responsible towards their learning and development. Somehow, something to do with the contractual relationship, because in foreign countries the students earn and they pay from their own pocket to finance their education. But in India, it is the parents who are sponsoring that, isn't it? That's why they don't understand the importance of classes and the money which is spent. So what we need to sensitize our students about this is that learning and development is not the sole responsibility of a teacher. The students are equally responsible for it. One of my students, did a PhD also on this topic. Okay, the students who take education loan vis-a-vis the students who are financed by their parents, is there any difference in terms of the goal orientation and the career consciousness between these two group of people? There was a big difference. And of course, the reason was the contractual relationship, because those who have taken education loan, they know the importance of, the whatever is going on in the classes. So the first thing is assuming and sharing responsibility. Second is sharing of control. Now, when I was teaching in foreign countries, I never faced this problem of sharing of control. Now, why there was no problem? Because, the kind of systems which were in place, tutorial assistants used to be there, then, the class CR, the assistant CR, the way they used to organize everything, not only the setting part, even the control part, that they also were taking care of. So we can sensitize our students and we can keep some systems in place so that the control is not the sole responsibility of the teacher, but students can also share the control. Third point is very important, that for good discussions, what is important is exchange of ideas rather than competing or selling for the ideas. Okay, I'm reminded of another experience. Uh, when I started my teaching career in 95, 96. MBA used to be a very prestigious degree at that point of time, because thousands of students used to compete for 50 odd seats in our university. And intake process was very rigorous, because first there used to be entrance exam, then there used to be group discussion. So a group discussion activity was going on, and normally we used to have a batch of uh, 10 candidates, and half an hour was given to each batch. So topic is announced, and then after 5 minutes, they are asked to, discuss, and then last 5 minutes for, summary and conclusion. That was the process which we used to follow. Now, in one of the batch, the topic which we gave for discussion was related to cricket, because we all know that cricket is a religion in India and everybody knows something about cricket. But there was one candidate in that batch who was not interested in cricket at all. He didn't know anything about cricket. He was engineer from one of the reputed college in the northern India, but he was not interested in cricket. So, but he ended up in a situation where he was supposed to contribute something related to that topic, because later on he became our student, so he shared his thoughts with us. He said, when this topic was announced, I was taken aback. I thought that I'll not be in a position to get it through now because I don't know anything. But somehow, when after 5 minutes of announcement of topic, when we said, okay, you can start the discussion now, he was the one who initiated the discussion. How? He said that, this is the topic which is given to us. We are, 8 candidates. So let us have 2 minutes each. Let us not criticize each other. Let us not interrupt each other. This. So he framed the kind of rules of the game, that how we as a group should behave. So that gave a very positive image that, you see, this is the guy who is interested in keeping the things organized. And then other people started giving their ideas, and he started gathering those ideas. And in the last 5 minutes, he beautifully summarized those ideas, and we all in the jury were impressed with his approach. That, you see, he has beautifully explained each and everything. No? So he could create something out of nothing. Just with the right kind of mindset, the exchange of ideas is more important rather than competing or selling the ideas. And it happens with openness. Okay, when you're open to others' ideas, that plays, wonders for you. So we need to sensitize our students about this. Okay, they should not compete or sell their ideas. Rather, they should be open to others' ideas as well. Another important point is team ability. Now, when I was a college-going student, one of our teacher, when he came to the class, he wrote one equation. What was that equation? He said, brain-wise, one Indian is better than one Japanese. Brain-wise, one Indian is better than one Japanese. But two Japanese are better than three Indians. Now you'll say, what is this mathematical equation? If one Indian is better than one Japanese, how come two Japanese can become better than three Indians? Team ability, isn't it? Because when they join hands together, their collective performance goes up because they are trained to be teamable. When we join hands together, our collective performance goes down because we are not trained to be teamable. So teamability is one of the very, very important this thing. Just 1 minute. Is my slides visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So sorry for the interruption. Yeah. You might have seen these migratory birds. Yeah. Now, they come from the North Pole, Siberian region. Every year they travel around 20,000 kilometers. And you must have observed that when they fly in a V formation.
Long.
Yes, ma'am. Anija, ma'am. So you must have seen that when they fly in a V formation. Why do they fly in a V formation? Like this?
Aerodynamics, sir.
Aerodynamic, isn't it? By flying in a V formation, the whole flock increases its flight efficiency by 71% compared to one bird flying alone, isn't it? Now, this is a principle of physics. Aerodynamic shape and resistance to the air gets minimized. Nobody taught them physics, but they learned from their own experiences, isn't it? So when they fly like this, the effort of the whole flock decreases by 71% compared to just one bird flying alone. So what is the lesson? The lesson is sharing the same direction and working as a team get us to the destination quicker and easier, and by helping ourselves, the accomplishments are greater. Then, from this particular formation, if any bird leaves, what will happen? Will he be easy? Will he get advantage of the aerodynamic shape?
No.
No, sir, no.
Isn't it? He will find difficulties of flying alone, isn't it? So what this bird will do, he quickly comes back to the formation to take advantage of the flocks far in front of him. So what is the lesson? Okay, by staying in tune and united beside those who are going in the same direction, the effort will be less and it will be easier and pleasing to reach the goals and everyone will be inclined to accept and give help, isn't it? So once we train our students to be teamable, they will always look for opportunities to work in teams because they know that it will be easier and pleasing to reach the goals. Thirdly, in this formation, the leader you know, is having the most difficult task because maximum air pressure is on the front part. And the one at the last is having the easiest task because the least air pressure is in the last part. Now, what should happen in a team? Okay, those who are doing difficult tasks, they should keep on doing the difficult tasks. Those who are doing easy tasks should keep on doing the easy tasks. Will it work?
No, sir.
Sir.
The burden should be shared by all. That's why
Burden should be shared by all.
All.
Yes. So he goes to the end of the formation while another goose takes the lead. So what is the lesson? To share the leadership. And how we can share the leadership? When there is a mutual respect between us all the time, sharing the hardest problems and tasks and gathering our abilities, combining our faculties, talents, and resources. Now, these birds, they always say quack, quack. They try to motivate each other, they try to encourage each other. So when we work in teams, there is always a courage and encouragement, and with that, the progress is greater. And a timely word of encouragement always motivates, helps, and strengthens, and it produces best of the benefits. And when a particular bird gets sick or is injured or gets tired, what should happen? Everybody should stop.
No, sir.
No.
Not exactly, sir. These birds support that and take it all along with them. They don't leave them behind.
Like he must leave the formation, but there must be someone to support, isn't it?
Yes.
Until he
Correct.
dies or he's in a position to fly again. So what is the lesson? Lesson is let us stay beside each other, no matter what the difference is, especially in times of great difficulty and challenges. So overall, from this slideshow, the lesson is that if we bond together and support each other, and if we understand the true spirit of teamwork, then regardless of our differences, we can rise to meet our challenge. Next line is very important. Okay, if we are aware of the feeling of sharing, means we are trained to be teamable, then life will be easier and passing of years will be more fulfilling. So that is the importance of team ability, working in teams. Okay, we need to sensitize our just a minute. We need to sensitize our students about this. Okay. So my screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. Another is preparation. When the student comes well prepared in the classes, then the pitch of learning goes high. So I still remember when I started my teaching career, I used to go to class, I used to write the topic, and the discussion used to start. Why? Because student at that point of time used to come well prepared. Those were the brilliant stuff. Then a teacher has to prepare much more to stay relevant. So then pitch of learning used to go high. So that's why we need to sensitize our students on this also, that if they want higher pitch for learning and development, they should come well prepared for the classes. Critical thinking process. I always ask my student, like, presently we know, uh, uh, like if I ask a simple question, we have two tax regimes now, the new tax regime and the old tax regime, isn't it? Which one is better and why there was a need for two regimes? Any idea? Tax regime. Are you familiar? We have two tax regimes now.
So to
Old
meet
one with,
Yes, sir.
Old and new tax regime, sir.
Yes,
the
sir.
salary.
what is the difference between the two?
The exemption.
Old regime, we get Under
Deductions.
old tax regime, we can claim deduction, sir. Under new tax regime, we can't claim the deduction.
Yeah, the government is promoting the new tax regime, isn't it? They want
Yes.
more and more people to opt for it. Why so? What is the idea behind?
Manner they would like to remove all deductions and tax the entire income.
Sir, unethical practices, maybe to curb that.
Compliance
Many
issues. Yeah,
of
there are
refunds.
some. Yeah,
It
there is another
reduces
way of looking at
administration
it.
burden.
Yeah, there is other way of looking at it. You know, earlier, our growth model was savings-led growth model. You know, the government wanted people to save more so that saving can be channelized into capital formation and investment. But now the government wants people to spend more. And now we are following consumption-led growth model. Okay, we should consume more, and that consumption will influence the economic cycle, and that is how the economy will grow. Yeah? So critical thinking process means okay, what, how, why. Yeah? All these questions should be asked. If government has come with a new regime, why so? Yeah? What can be the different aspects related to that? So whatever is taught, critical thinking means you don't accept it the way it is. Try to question from different angles. That is how you will develop, the students will develop better understanding about the issue. Understanding the big picture. Okay, why? When we say India is a huge market, no? And what is the problem with India presently? That we say that private investment is not coming. Industry is not investing in India. And why they are not investing in India? When you ask them, they said our present capacity utilization is only 70%. Okay, if we make more investment, our capacity utilization is still 70%. So what is the fun of making more? So that's why the government wants that more and more consumption should come so that the economic cycle can be influenced like that. So discovery process, after each and every session, we must try to discover, okay, what new things we have learned. Like whatever examples, whatever I'm telling you, whatever things I've shared, that is not a rocket science. You all are familiar with this. But you must be having your own experiences with regard to these points. So discovery process is trying to discover the things which have already been talked about and try to relate it with your own experiences. Openness to peer learning, collective learning, and norms of respect should be maintained. Now, coming towards the conclusions of my talk, we all know that art without risk does not exist. Art is creative and uncontrollable. Teaching through discussion is also an art, but it is manageable and controllable, or through systematic process, planning, and direction. Now, what are the critical factors for discussion-based interaction? Number one, questioning of the right kind to the right individual at the right time. Second is listening actively and responding. Now, coming to the last slide, that is, what are the qualities of an effective academic leader? Now, the first thing, as a teacher, it is expected from us that when we go to the class, positive vibes should come from us. Positive environment we should create. And that is possible only when we love our subject, when we love our profession, and we love the role of our profession. No? Because positive vibes will come when I love whatever I'm doing. So great teachers, they respect and love the role of your profession. Secondly, respect the student, know their hopes, know their dreams. That empathy, Chandrasekharan example which we have taken. Thirdly, prepare thoroughly and protect the learning environment. Please don't go to the classes unprepared. Commit the students into their learning and development. I was HOD of my department 2 times, and I always used to request my teachers to spend 30% of the classroom time on motivating and inspiring the student. Okay, because that is also our responsibility. Manage content as well as the process. Don't focus on the process, content part only. Focus on the process part also. Then another is create an environment where the student can take risk. Allow me to take one last example here. When we say that create an environment where the student can take risk. That doesn't mean the student can come with some chalk or some, something indisciplined thing. No. Risk here means, I would like to share one example, one of my experience with regard to this. When I was working in Rwanda, then one of our colleague used to be from Philippines, and he used to teach advertising and sales management, and he was very innovative in his teaching pedagogy. And he used to take so many activities in the classes, and I used to watch him, because I was the head of the department there, and I used to see that the kind of advertisement which he used to take to teach in the classes. So one day he said, "Okay, today my theme is the to understand the advertisements which depict the character of the nation. To understand the theme which depicts the character of the nation." Okay, that is the theme of the advertisement. So he took some ads, award-winning ads on this particular theme. One of the Indian advertisement at that point of time also got a third prize. That was, a ad related to it, old truck going in a desert, with so many people on it, some of them sleeping, some of them, like this, So slowly that truck is moving ups and downs, but nobody falls down intact, like India. Fevicol ka majboot jod. That ad was Fevicol ka majboot jod, Pidilite ad. Okay, that Fevicol ka majboot jod. So India is also like that, isn't it? Okay, a huge country with so many people moving slowly. Some of them are sleeping, some of them are like this. But the ad which got a first prize related to this particular point, that was a Japanese ad. Now, what was that Japanese ad? That a KG class, kindergarten class is going on, and it's a drawing class. The teacher comes to the class and she gives the instruction, okay, today you draw whatever comes to your mind. Today you draw whatever comes to your mind. So small kids, they have drawing sheets with them, they have colors with them. So some of them, if somebody is making Mickey Mouse, somebody is making doll, somebody is making some scenery and all. But there's one small little boy who picks up the sheet and shades it black, picks up another sheet and shades it black, picks up another sheet and shades it black. Now the teacher is observing, okay, all other students, they are doing, good, colorful things. But what is going through the mind of the student that he's picking up the sheets and shading them black? But she doesn't disturb him, but she's just observing. She calls psychologists also, she calls parents also. Nobody disturbs the student. Student is still busy with the shading of the sheets, and all other students have finished, but this guy is still working on it. And then she realized, okay, some part of that sheet he is leaving also. Patches he's leaving also. But she's observing, but then she realized, okay, maybe he's doing something related to puzzle making. Because some sheets, when they're joined together, maybe something will come out. So by that time, the student also finishes, and they pick all the sheets, go to the ground and attach those sheets, and big whale fish could be made with that, all the sheets which he shaded. So whale fish came in the mind of the student and he tried to make it. So what was the slogan of that ad? Okay, promote creativity and innovation amongst the kids. Okay, so when we say, okay, create an environment where the student can take risk in terms of ideas, risk in terms of perspectives. Okay, and then don't show them how competent or how smart you are. Your action should speak rather than your words. So lastly, great teachers transcend the message. Try to develop yourself that kind of teacher that whatever you do in your classes, that should be discussed beyond the classes also, beyond the classrooms also. So attitude of heart along with good preparation makes you a good academic leader. So that's all from my side.